Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lux, the channel dedicated to all things rich and luxurious. Odell Beckham Jr., one of the biggest names in football, and depending on who you ask, one of the most polarizing players ever. Beckham's loud personality has made him a lot of fans, but also garnered bad press over the years. But Beckham is easily one of the best wide receivers in the game today. Beckham has an impressive net worth of over $25 million and spends it on everything from his hair to his cars to his watches. Yes, watches. Join us today as we show you some expensive things that Odell Beckham Jr. owns. But first, make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're already subscribed to the channel, make sure you turn on notifications as we are releasing new videos every day. Number 8. His contract. If for some reason you don't know, Odell Beckham Jr. is an American football player, and a dang good one too. He's considered one of the best wide receivers in the entire NFL, and he's known for making insane catches that puts other people to shame. In many ways, his career started out during his time with the New York Giants, where during a game against their rival, the Dallas Cowboys, quarterback Eli Manning threw Odell Beckham Jr. a pass, and he caught it with 3 fingers. Yeah, he did that, and his legend was born as a result. Since then, Odell Beckham Jr. has made many touchdown catches and many more insane passes, so when the time came to sign him again, the New York Giants capitalized and gave him a contract worth $90 million in total over the course of about 5 years, with $16 million in guaranteed money. Now, obviously, he's with the Cleveland Browns now, but his contract still stands. Yet he's trying to maneuver some things so that he can get more money in the guaranteed side of things. You might not think that a player owns their contract, but in many ways they do, because this is what says, quote, "I'm a player in the NFL, and you need to pay me this much," end quote. And as long as Odell Beckham Jr. does what he does best, he'll get paid more and more. So in that sense, the contract is his way of keeping himself accountable, which he does have trouble doing at times. Number 7. Times with friends. If there's something that Odell Beckham Jr. has proven he loves to do, it's hang out with friends and such, which on the whole isn't that bad of a thing, except when it comes at the worst possible times. Because he'd rather be partying with friends instead of, say, getting ready for a playoff game. This happened a few years back when Odell Beckham Jr. was with the New York Giants. They had just gotten to the playoffs for the first time in a few years, and to celebrate, Odell Beckham Jr. went out on a boat with some friends and took a very gangsta picture that swirled all over the internet and raised a lot of questions about his commitments to the team. Sure enough, that weekend, the Giants lost the playoff, and Odell Beckham Jr. played terribly in that game. He's never been to the playoffs since, with either the Giants or the Browns. Many have questioned the maturity of Odell Beckham Jr. over the years, and that's why the Giants traded him to the Browns not long after signing him to that new deal, because he was more concerned about himself and his image at the time he had away from the field instead of the time he spent on it. Number 6. Shoes. It's not surprising one bit that a lot of celebrities have very fancy shoes in their houses. And if you haven't heard, Drake has a golden set of Air Jordans that he spent $2 million on. Because of course he did. Now, for Odell Beckham Jr., it's a bit of a different story. He has always been a fan of Chuck Taylor shoes, and by his own admission, he's worn them all his life. So when he had the chance to buy the most expensive pair of Chuck Taylor shoes ever, yeah, he did it. Oh, and to get that pair of shoes, it cost him $20,000. Now, sure, that's petty change compared to what Drake did with those Air Jordans, but that's still $20,000 on a pair of shoes that he honestly may never wear. And as some have noted, you can get a regular pair of these kinds of shoes for less than $100. So to go and get a pair that's 200 times more expensive than that? Yeah, you must be a fan, and rich. A rich fan. Oh, did I mention that this very special pair of Chuck Taylor shoes has both gold and concrete on them? Because that's a thing apparently. Place your bets here though. Do you think he's at least tried these shoes on? Let me know below. Number 5. Charities. Now, as we established, Odell Beckham Jr. can be a bit of a jerk on the field, and sometimes off it, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know when to do the right thing when the moment arrives. This one time while he was in Cleveland, he found out that his school's football team was coming back after being dissolved in 2010. This happened in 2019, which meant this school, known as Sheeny High School, had gone without a football program for a decade. Anyway, Odell Beckham Jr. got involved in this, and after celebrating their return, he bought the entire team that would be playing football Nike Air Max 720s. That's a very expensive brand, and that cost $20,000 to do as well. Mainly because he had to buy 100 pairs of them. But still, it's important that OBJ did this because it shows he does have a soft side and is willing to think of others than himself. Number 4. Jewelry collection. There are many people out there who believe that there is nothing more important than the bling that you wear on your arms, wrists, and around your neck. And love him or hate him, Odell Beckham Jr. has the bling and jewelry to go for days. For example, when he made his debut with the Cleveland Browns, he played the entire game with a watch on his wrist. No big deal, right? Except that this watch was worth over $350,000. Yeah, he was playing a football game with over $250,000 attached to his wrist. Think he stopped there? Oh, you should know better than that by now. The very next game, he went and wore a watch that was apparently worth $2.2 million. Can you imagine playing a game with that much money on your wrist? I can't, nor would I want to. In fact, let's just move on, because it only gets crazier from here. Number 3. Jewels on his teeth. No, I'm not kidding about this one. And I could have put this on the other entry, but I decided that this was way crazier. For the record though, this crazy purchase only cost him $5,000. But it's the intent that's really crazy though. Mainly, in 2019, Odell Beckham Jr. had the quote-unquote idea that instead of just getting himself more wristwatches and necklaces and such, that he would go and get diamond crosses surgically implanted on his teeth. If that sounds easy, it's not. His dentist and his jeweler had to work together to figure out how to make this work without hurting OBJ, which obviously would have been bad. They had to do sculpting, 3D printing, and more to make it work. And now he has diamond crosses on 2 of his teeth, which is crazy enough, but the catch here is that he can never take them off, which means that the only way he can quote-unquote get rid of them is by having his teeth removed. Hope those diamonds last forever in your mind, OBJ. Number 2. His crib. When you're worth well over $25 million, thanks to his contract and endorsement deals and all that, you have money to spend on a nice house, or a set of houses if you can swing it. And Odell Beckham Jr. has definitely made the most of his living situation. When he was with the Giants, he bought a mansion outside the Hudson that was very unique. It was 3 levels and had 3,500 square feet, which is a very atypical kind of mansion if you think about how that is all comprised. But he loved that house, and even his mother noted just how much she loved it. We don't have the price, but this is New York, and so we're talking many millions for this one. And you know that he has another home now that he resides in Cleveland for the NFL season. Number 1. Cars. Many in the NFL love to flash their cars around, and Odell Beckham Jr. has a menagerie of cars that are both awesome and expensive, such as his Rolls-Royce Wraith, which by itself would have been about $300,000. But then, the guys at DreamWorks Motorsports went and pimped that ride out, making it more like $500,000 in worth, if not more. Then Odell Beckham Jr. teamed up with them again to customize a Mercedes-Benz CLG AMG for him. He then hired them to do the same kind of custom work for a Ford F-250 so that they could match. Because, sure, why not? On the base level, the vehicle would have been about $135,000 combined. But with all the custom work, yeah, it's much more than that. He's also given not 1 but 2 different vehicles to his mother and his sister, and then bought himself a Cleveland Brown-themed Rolls-Royce that cost him $500,000. And you were happy when you got a car for a good deal at the lot, right? So, what do you think? What do you think of these crazy things that Odell Beckham Jr. has spent his money on over the years? Do you think that his spending habits are a sign of his lack of maturity? Or do you think he's just living the dream and trying to spend the money like any kid in a candy store would? Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching Lux, the channel dedicated to all things rich and luxurious. If you like this video, make sure you check out some of our other videos and to be notified when we release new videos. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Until next time.